A poet said it. Newfoundland is an island of the sea, if ever there was one. Nowhere does the sea enter so intimately into the life of a people, loudly along 1,000 miles of surf-washed coastline, echoing up 1,000 resounding fjords. I'm not this poet because I'm Peter Roberts, narrating our broadcast series of This is Canada. But I doubt if anybody ever described this 10th province of Canada more vividly or correctly than this poet. Coming across the island to the provincial capital city of St. John's on the Canadian National Railway from Port aux Basques, which incidentally is reached by the big modern motor vessel William Carson from North Sydney, Nova Scotia, I engaged in conversation with a Newfoundland fisherman. It was a liberal education for me. After talking with my Newfoundland friend, I have come to the conclusion that it's going to take our American, and yes, Canadian too, ticket and tourist agents some time to get used to the colorful Newfoundland community names and picturesque speech I've run up against. Here in Newfoundland, they have towns with names such as Horse Chops, Cape White Handkerchief, Ireland's Eye, and Joe Bat's Arm. Fishermen from Britain, France, Spain, and Portugal gave the coves and points around the big island the names that are the addresses for the hardy people living here. A man in the modern Newfoundland Hotel in St. John's told me there are at least 1,000 terms of speech peculiar to Newfoundlanders. Most have to do with the sea and ships and have been carried over into common usage. A braggart, for instance, is an October gaoler. A grave is a long home. Grumbling is mullygrubs, and flattery, plawmosh. The spirit of Newfoundland has been captured by Omer Blondal, the celebrated Canadian singer. Here's a typical Big Island folk song, Old Paulina, from Rodeo's Trade Winds album.
There's a noble fleet of whalers sailing from Dundee, manned by British sailors for to take 'em o'er the sea. On a western ocean passage we started on the trip, and we flew along just like the song in our gallant whaling ship. And wind blows in her quarter, and the engine's working free. There's not another whaler that sailed the Arctic Sea can beat the old Paulina. You need not try me, son, for we challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's. Art Jackson said canvas, there where they got up steam, and Captain Guy, the daring bike, came plunging through the stream. And Mullins in the husky tried to beat the bloomin' lot, but to beat the old Paulina was something he could not. And the wind was in her quarter, and the engine's working free. There's not another whaler that sailed the Arctic Sea can beat the old Paulina. You need not try me, sons, for we challenged all, both great and small, from Dundee to St. John's.
A visitor to St. John's sees a thriving city that, like the urban areas of this country, is rapidly spreading out in all directions. Among the sights you'll want to include the Anglican Cathedral, which is said to be the best example of Gothic architecture in America, Government House, the House of Assembly, and the house on Signal Hill, where Marconi made world history with the first transatlantic wireless message. In proximity to St. John's are many quaint fishing villages. Unfortunately, tourist accommodations in Newfoundland outside of St. John's, Port aux Basques, and one or two other places are quite limited. Newfoundland is not quite ready for a heavy influx of tourists, but progress is being made, and it won't be too long before there will be ample accommodations for all who wish to visit this different but extremely friendly 10th province of Canada. This is Peter Roberts, who has been telling you something about St. John's, the capital city of Newfoundland, the nearest point in North America to continental Europe.